The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Glenn in Massachusetts. Hey, Glenn, what's going on?
You know what is good for us is Tom O'Brien providing an unbiased source of information for us investors. You don't have an agenda. It's just to cut through everything and to give us the facts. I want to thank you.
No, I appreciate it, man.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Well, welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone's having a great day out there, safe day. Let's make it a great night. I think we got a little heat spell coming across the country, folks, so have a good time with it. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Manifest your true intentions. Regardless of what language you speak, your intent will manifest through the word. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will be manifested through the word. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow up 29, NASDAQ up 6, S&P's up 4, gold contract up $9.30, trading at $1,384 an ounce. Silver up $1.12 at $31.75. Platinum up $17 at $1,847 an ounce. Copper up 4 pennies at $4.50 a pound. Light sweet crude up $1.54, trading out at 86.52. Bonds up 15 ticks at 119.13. Dollar index down 22 ticks, trading out at 78.05. Euro 136.06. Yen down 36 ticks at 83.33. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, what do you have? Up 4 more bucks. You're at 1340. You do 876 million versus 924. Dow Industrials. You go into the Dow. You take a look at the Dow. What the Dow did, up 29 bucks. 12,318. What was pushing it high was Coca-Cola, DuPont, IBM, and Chevron. Taken away from it was American Express, United Technologies, Hewitt Packard, and Boeing. We go over to the NASDAQ Composite. NASDAQ Composite up $6 today, trading out at 28.31. We did 1.9 billion versus 2.2 billion. Inside the NDX 100, what we had, NDX 100 was flat. What was pushing it higher, however, was NVIDIA, Qualcomm, Research in Motion, Microsoft. What was taken away from it was Apple, NetApp, O'Reilly Automotive, and Express Scripts. Now, what's going to be interesting here is that you had Apple, folks. Apple gapped down slightly, nothing heavy, but what you do have is this. If you're into council charting at all, what you do have in Apple is a island top. So we'll see where that stands. What an island top specifically is that you have a situation on the 15th. You close at 359. You gap up. The baby opens at the 360, and you gap back down. So we'll see where that shakes and bakes. If in fact Apple wants to get some juice going to the downside, and specifically what I'm talking about is that on the 18th of January, you came down with 67 million. Apple made a high yesterday with 17 million. You come off the high today with 18 million. Wasn't a bad day for Apple, but that signal there does set up, and you are inside the 360 mark. The 360 mark was also the high that was generated on the, there she goes, on the 10th of February. We're going to take a look at the dollar index. What we had with the dollar out here today is this. Dollar pulls back. We go back 23,000 contracts. That 23,000 contracts is going into the 26,000 contracts. That number there is coming off the February 3rd, or 25,196 to be exact. That's coming off the low, the day following the low on February 3rd. Gold contract. What we did with gold out here, we take a look at the gold contract. We had a price spread out here in gold today. She went from 13.74, closed out at 13.84. This contract, folks, is going to need a lot more juice. Now, this is going to there's divergence out here, and this is what it is. Gold, the contract in gold today did 89,000 contracts. That little baby's going into about 225,000 contracts. Silver, we take a look at silver. What we had with silver out here today, silver went up $1.13. We take a look at that contract, what you had with silver now. She did 70,000 contracts. She's over the last high out here at 31.24, and silver does have some juice behind it. What you had, we did 70,000. Last high up there was at 80,000 contracts. Bond market, we go over and we take a look at bonds. What we had with bonds out here, bonds are traded up 14 ticks today at 119.18. Bonds did 348,000 contracts. Looks to me like she wants to run into the 122.07. Now, of course, we're coming into option expiration tomorrow, and I suspect we're going to get a little volatility coming into option expiration. Let's go to Sam and Brandon. Hey, Sam, what's going on?
Hey, Tom. Good talking to you, Tom. Yes, sir. I'm just trying to get your recommendation on Medical Health Solutions.
Okay, let's take a look. You get MHS, Medical Health Solutions. It's a pharmacy benefit manager. The low is 43. The high is 66. The PE is 21. They make $2.91. Okay, so, you've been at these highs for a while. I mean, you're at 63. There's huge support at 58. So let me bring this back a little. Now, do you own this or you're looking to buy it?
I'm going to for an entry.
Okay. So what you have here, folks, is this. She's going after the highs of 2010. Those highs up there were $66.70. You're looking for an entry. Let this baby get back into the $59.95 area. And where I'm going with that, Sam, is this. If you take a look at this on a weekly basis, you're going to see on the week of November 5th, that little baby went from 51 to 59 with 34 million. Now, when you do that, you have to let it go into that level first. If it goes into the top of the bar, which which is 59, and the volume's too much, do not touch it, because that would say that it go right back to the original breakout, which is 51.59.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Have a great one, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. So just kind of weigh it out a little bit in the 50s a little bit.
That's right. Well, first, it wants to come into 59, so you let it get into 59. If the volume expands, right, then that means it wants to go back to the original breakout, which is the 51. So if the volume is expanding, and it just expanding means that, let's say, you've been doing, let me get the MHS. Okay, so this little baby, right now, he did 2.7 million today, okay? So let's say as you start getting in there, she's doing, 2.7 million. The next day is 3 million. The next day is 4 million. Then don't touch it as she's coming down, because that would be saying that bottom line is that it wants to go to the beginning of that breakout, which is $53.60.
Sounds good.
Okay, man. Have a great one. Have a safe one. 877-927-6648. Let's go over and we take a look at the some of the high volume stocks out here, and this is what we had out here today, folks. The volume, of course, was anemic once again, but inside that anemic volume, you had Citigroup was up 4 cents, Bank of America was down 3, NVIDIA was the big number out here today. That was up $2.30, trading out at 25.68. Intel was up 22. We had Sprint down 4. NetApps was off 3.77. Let's go see what's happening with good old NetApps over here. So NetApps, she comes off the high with volume. Pretty amazing. Now, what NetApps is, folks, this is storage and data management solutions. And if you do go, the low is 29 on this, the high is 61. If you want to go take a look at it, and, bottom line is that it was at highs, no volume, $59. It breaks away today from the 58 level, opens at 54, and you can see that it's going to go after the last downdraft that was out there, which was the 17th of November. The high of that area was $54. The low was 48, and this is kind of a deal, exactly what I was just talking to Sam about. This came back into the top of that bar, and it came back into the top of that bar with monster volume, so you'd never touch it. It came into the bar today with 30 million shares, folks. That's saying it wants to go to the bottom of that bar, which is 48. And if we actually bring NetApps back a bit, we put it on a weekly, what you're going to have here, yeah, that's where she wants to test, $48. If we go over to NVIDIA, NVDA out here today, folks, she goes up $2.30, and this is going to be, the last high out here was $26.16. She ran to that 26.01 today with 86 million. So she's gonna go after those highs. Let's go to Patrick and Tappan Springs. Hey, Patrick, what's going on?
Tom, could you give me a little bit of insight on OMX, Office Max?
Office Max. Let's take a look at it. You get Office Max, lows 967, the highs 1979. It looks like we must be going all digital or something because she's having an awful tough time. Now, what are you looking to do with this?
Well, I'm looking for an entry point.
Okay.
Are we on the same stock, OMX, Office Max?
Yeah, we're definitely on the same stock. The stock got hammered the last 2 days, right?
Yes, it did.
Okay. So let's take a look. We pull this back. I'll put this back to January. This is what you had, folks. So what? This is a classic. And what the classic is that the stock goes from $9.67 August and 10. It runs up the first time to $19. You did 1.6 million shares, and that was testing 5.8 million shares all the way back over to April of 2010. And from that point on, what ends up happening, it just keeps going lower with volume exploding. Now, this is an ABC down, Patrick, okay? Now, do you understand how they work?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so your A point on this is 1920. Your B is 1580. So let's say you get $4, you get 4. That's going to bring it to 1387. But don't touch this thing, man. That volume. Yesterday, what happened, folks? I don't know if they'll come up with numbers or what, but the bottom line, you had 11.9 million shares come out of the equity on the way down. This thing can make its way all the way back to those lows. That's how it's set up.
Tom, when is your new book coming out?
It is will be at the printer at the latest, probably in another 6 to 7 days.
All right, Tom. Thank you very much for your help.
Have a great one, man. Have a safe one. What's going to be interesting about this Office Max, folks, is that, okay, what exactly, after Borders basically, that business has changed. That business model has changed. They're closing 1/3 of their stores. Digital, folks, is going to hurt a lot of these companies. There's no two ways about it. And it's real possible that that's exactly what happened. I'm looking, they did come out with their numbers. That's what pushed it down. What you're going to have here is that the amount of closings of these large stores is changing the dynamic. And the digital business in general is changing the dynamic of very large stores that are basically selling paper. It's amazing. When you go look back even 20 years, they thought we'd go paperless. It's not that we're going paperless either. But what it is that more people are using digital in order to basically produce. That's what's happening. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. We're coming right back.
What is a single force that controls